Cambridge IGCSE 0625 October-November 2024 Paper 41. Question 3 Part A. Define the moment of a force and describe the effect that it measures. So this question consists of two parts. Initially we need to define the moment of a force. To define moment of a force, we can write the word equation of moment. Moment is force times perpendicular distance from the pivot, where perpendicular is very important word. If you skip that word, you will lose 1 mark. And the second part of the question, you need to write the describe the effect that measures. So the moment always measures the turning effect of a force. Hence we can write it measures the turning effect of a force. Part 1. Explain what is meant by center of gravity. The definition is point where all the weight of the object seems to act. This definition of center of gravity you need to memorize, as you can see this question in many of the past papers. Part 2. The weight of the block is 1.3 times 10 to the power 7 Newton. Calculate the moment of the weight of the block about corner X. So let's go back to the diagram. Okay, in this question, the weight of the object is given. So we need to know the point where the weight act on this rectangular block, and the weight will always act exactly on the center of gravity. So we can understand this is the line of action of force which is acting on this block, and that force is the weight, which is also given 1.3 times 10 to the power 7 Newton. And as mentioned, we need to calculate the pivot about the point X. That means we can consider the point X as the pivot. In order to calculate moment, we have already discussed, that is the product of weight times perpendicular distance from the pivot, or the distance, perpendicular distance between the pivot and the line of action of force. So this distance we need to find out. In the question, the total distance or total width is 3.4 is given. So the distance between, or perpendicular distance between the line of action of force to the pivot will be half of it. This distance must be the half of 3.4. Now we can substitute the values. First write the formula. Moment is force times perpendicular distance from pivot or from the point X, where the force is 1.3 times 10 to the power 7 Newton, time perpendicular distance we have already seen from the figure, that is 3.4 divided by 2 meter, and the answer is 2.2 times 10 to the power 7 Newton meter. We can write the answer in 2 significant figure. Last part of question 3, part C. The block shown in figure 3.1 is in equilibrium. State the 2 different conditions that apply when the object is in equilibrium. So here we have to write the 2 conditions, that is the resultant force must be 0 and resultant moment must be 0. This is also very important question we can see in many of the past papers.